Hello everyone. I really enjoyed watching your videos and hearing about what you've been doing the past 4 weeks, and it sounds like we had a really nice variety too in terms of studying racial minorities, the lower socioeconomic status. Then we had African American women, people with disabilities, and I did marginalized gender identity. So it was just a good variety by chance. Starting with Joshua, the main point I took away from what you were saying is it's important to catch ourselves in our own biases, and how your fraternity brother was Latino, and you made that correct assumption that he was from Mexico, but you also assumed that he probably lived in a primarily Latino neighborhood. And then you actually found out it was, I think you said, a white neighborhood and then a black neighborhood for the most part, and you were sort of wrong in making those assumptions, and that we need to be careful to not assume based on someone's race or gender or whatever identity it is that we know their story or their background. And Phyllis, you had a really awesome set of learning activities. Kind of jealous you got so many hands-on activities, and that's really awesome with the homeless shelter. And I like how you pointed out that we need to call them guests. And I think that that's just a good reminder, regardless of who it is, we need to never target them. You know, oh, you're a person with disabilities. No, you're just a person, you know, and then let's talk about maybe your disabilities from there. But I like that you sort of emphasized that you always call them guests. Chris, I hope you're feeling better. And I really think it's neat that a few of you guys were able to carry on your identity topic from classes you took this spring, I guess. I've heard a few other people who've done that, and that seems like just a really awesome longitudinal learning activity, and how you worked with the African American women and sort of how that intersects with sexism and classism and everything else that you compared through those. Brandy, your first activity with the movie I thought was so cool that you actually got to go experience something that was truly built and designed for the population that you were trying to learn more about, and how they kept the lights dim and the sound was a little different and you were allowed to sort of move around and clap. I think overall a lot of us had to get a little bit creative, maybe with watching a movie or reading a biography, but it sounds like overall we did at least all get one or two hands-on activities. And I think overall our biggest takeaway message is we just need to be aware and not make assumptions, not sort of let ourselves give into these biases, because we're going to experience, you know, 100 of every kind of student that we've just described, and we need to first off acknowledge and try to be aware of who they are and where they're coming from without deciding their story for them. And I want to, at least I know I want to be cautious to not say, okay, you are a African American woman, so you must be feeling this, this, and this, or okay, you are a student with disabilities, you must be feeling secluded and, you know, isolated and all these things. I want to not jump to conclusions, and I think that this course has taught me to be aware without bias, and just also that it's so important to recognize our privilege in everything we do, because I think that will sort of prevent this cycle of privilege and power. If we can recognize where we're privileged, maybe we can start to spread it out and make it a little bit more of an even playing field. I hope that I'll get to hear from a couple of you. I think, Phyllis, you said you're in the WebEx session tonight. So everyone else, I will definitely be looking at your artifacts, and I look forward to it. Have a wonderful weekend.